Let's catch up some Spurs news and notes that you may have missed. And then, are the Markannen dreams in San Antonio, they're all but over?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs right here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for KENS 5 San Antonio. You guys made the wise choice coming back to Locked On Spurs, covering all things silver and black. Subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts, such as iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, even the KENS 5 Plus app. We are everywhere. Just hit that subscribe button and you're good to go. Hey, what are we talking about today? We're going to be looking at some Spurs news and notes that you may have missed, and then, pick up the pieces, I guess. Other Markannen dreams in San Antonio all but over, despite the news that he's likely going to sign an extension. We're going to get into that in just a few minutes with our guest, Jack Thompson, formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. Then catch up on what you guys are talking over at the Locked On Spurs YouTube page. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Look, FanDuel's hooking up all customers with a booster bonus daily. That's right. It's up for everyone all day, every day, all summer long. You want to go to FanDuel.com to get started. All right, let's catch up with some Spurs news and notes that you may have missed. Perhaps the big one, Team France and Wembanyama, they're advancing to the semifinals at the Olympic basketball tournament. They defeated Canada, and they were the underdogs, Team France that is, and they took it to him. I mean, they really put the hurt on Canada. Canada made a little bit of a comeback throughout the game, but it was just all Team France. And for those of you out there wondering how Victor Wembanyama did, he had 7 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, and 3 steals. And kudos to them. They beat Team Canada 82-73. In other Spurs news, former Spurs news, Patty Mills and Team Australia, they lost. They're done for the Olympic tournament. They lost to Team Serbia 95-90 in overtime. Patty Mills hit the clutch-winning shot to send the game into overtime. But it's all on Australia. They had a 24-point lead against Serbia, and they just saw it evaporate. Patty Mills, he finished with 26 points, and he kind of exited the game talking as if that was it for FIBA Patty. He's nothing official yet, but it sounds like we may have seen the last game of Patty Mills in Australia, green and yellow. But it was a good run for Team Australia and Patty Mills. And we'll see what the future holds for him internationally moving forward. In other Spurs news, hey, if you're in San Antonio, we have a new mural. Murals in San Antonio. Look, for those who are not from San Antonio or live in San Antonio, there's just a lot of murals everywhere. I mean, turn down any street in San Antonio, you'll find a mural. Go down the north side of San Antonio, a mural. South side, you get the point. There is murals everywhere, and a new one just popped up. Let's go and take a look at it, and there it is. If you are in San Antonio, it's located on the south side near Division Street. For those of you who are familiar with that, Division at 35. It's at My Tia's Mexican Restaurant. Go there right now. Check it out. Wemby surrounded by 50, 20, and 21. You know who those numbers refer to. It was made by S.A. Boogie 1985. So did a great job. Captured the Spurs retro logo there. Wemby with his jersey back turned to us. Although some fans pointed out, no Tony Parker. You would think Tony Parker, Wemby, French connection there. Unfortunately, that did not, at least the artist did not put 09 on that mural there. But yeah, there's another mural in San Antonio ready for selfies, ready for Spurs fans to go congregate and take some pictures with it, celebrate their Spurs fandom. And finally, in other Spurs news, Devin Vassell recently ended his basketball camp, his kids camp out in Suwanee, Georgia. And it is the 3rd annual camp that Vassell put on, and it was a huge success. Vassell spoke with the Gwinnett Daily Post, and he said it was huge. We had over 200 kids. Each year it's just getting bigger and bigger. He's excited to see each year how much it's been growing. And he says, quote, "At the end of the day, to get back to the community and get back to these kids is all I want to do." Now, Vassell is not the only Spur or former Spur to put on camps for kids during the offseason. Former Spurs Danny Green, George Hill, they recently put a kids camp in San Antonio. You got Keldon Johnson. He did not only San Antonio, but throughout the South Texas region, like in Laredo. So yeah, the Spurs really love to give back to their community, as Devin Vassell and the rest of Spurs and former Spurs prove. All right, there you have it. Some quick Spurs news and notes. When we get back, Jack Thompson, formerly with San Antonio Sports Star, we're going to be discussing Markkanen, those dreams of him in silver and black all but over, despite the news that he's likely going to sign an extension. We're going to be discussing that and more right here on Locked On Spurs. Hey, but I want to talk to you about FanDuel. You love sports. You love them so much, right? You don't ever want them to end. I know I'm like you. I never want sports to end. But you can keep on going with sports. And all you got to do is open up the FanDuel app, dream up some bets, and anytime you're in the mood. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a booster bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Get that app right now. Put it on your mobile device or just sign up at the website, FanDuel.com. Easy to use app, very user friendly. You can make your picks quick, easy, fast, and you can bet on parlays. Just dream of something, and FanDuel will have you covered. So again, you want to go to FanDuel.com right now. Start making the most of your summer. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Hey, I want to talk about Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. Go there right now, San Antonio. They're located at 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive, open every single day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You need a latte, you need a cold brew, you need the signature coffee drink, the Mudslinger. What else? You need caffeinated drinks, non-caffeinated drink, dairy alternatives. They got the drink for you. They're a proud local sponsor of Locked On Spurs and a proud community member of San Antonio, making sure San Antonio gets the best drinks in town. They are Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. Look, they have this drink called the Alien. It's part of their Lightning Bolt series. Basically, what that is, it supercharges your day, gets you going or keeps you going throughout the day. Go get them. I've had them before. Very delicious. But just a heads up, the default's going to be Lotus Energy drink. So basically, that is 7 power plant extracts mixed in. Allows them flexibility to create more drinks. Has the same effects as a Red Bull, but again, with those 7 power plant extracts. But if you want Red Bull, they'll have it on hand. Just let them know. They'll make it for you. What more do you got to do? Go to Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee right now. Follow them on social media at Mudslinger SATX. Again, Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee, the best in town. Go there right now, San Antonio, because life is too short for bland coffee.
A Jedi uses the Force. To subscribe to Locked On Spurs, pass on what you have learned.
And look who is back, everybody. It's the 3 goggles man himself, Jack Thompson. Follow him on X at Jack_Thompson. Do it right now. Look at that. Look like something out of The Purge. Those masks out of The Purge. That's what it looks like. What's your t-shirt today? Okay, you got
a Supreme shirt that I tie-dyed. Yeah.
Isn't that a bad thing? Aren't Supreme shirts like pretty valuable?
I thought it was cool tie-dyed, so.
Right, well, there he goes. Jack doesn't care if it's valuable or not. He does not care. So why is Jack back here today? Well, we're going to be discussing, is the dream over? Is Lauri Markkanen in the Spurs jersey? That ain't going to happen. All signs are pointing to not going to happen, at least anytime soon. We're going to be discussing the latest on Lauri Markkanen and then get to your comments, Locked On Spurs fans. You guys are talking a lot at the YouTube page. We'll pick 2 and react to them in just a few minutes. Jack is formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. Again, follow him on X at Jack_Thompson33. By the way, that roundtable we did that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a good episode. We need to do more of those for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of a beta test. For those of you who saw it, you can see there was a little bit of graphics issues, but nevertheless, we'll get the hang of it here. We'll get the hang. Jack will be back on those episodes soon. All right, Jack, let's dive into it. It looks like the Markkanen Spurs thing, it's all but dead. At least for now. According to a report via The Athletic, report via Yahoo Sports, all indications are that Markkanen won't sign the extension until after the day he becomes eligible to re-sign with Utah. It looks like, that ain't going to happen. As far as him coming to San Antonio, this pretty much rules him out of the trade market for the entire 24-25 season. He's staying in Utah. Jack, before we continue, what does this mean in just plain English? Basically, he resigns with Utah. He's not tradable, right?
I mean, it's not that he's not tradable, because you can trade his new contract, but he's going to be signing a much larger extension than what he has on the payroll right now. So it does become more difficult to trade for him, because then, I mean, to match that kind of salary, you're going to have to throw in one of your best players as well as the high pick price that Danny Ainge is asking for. So it doesn't make it impossible, but it surely makes it a whole lot more difficult and a lot more there's a lot more cost to it with matching the salary. So it's
Yeah.
not it doesn't as become as enticing of a trade because you're giving up a whole lot for, the one guy.
All right, so let's just ask the question now, Jack. I'll let you start here. I guess I can hear you already. You're saying the dream is not completely over because the Spurs have enough assets to even match a ridiculous sky high Danny Ainge price to get Markkanen. But do you think the Spurs will do that? I don't see them making that type of big offer to Utah.
Yeah, I don't really see it either. When his contract was around the 20 million that it was before, I mean that was, Keldon and insert
Yeah.
guy to match salary and then number of picks. But Markkanen's going to be signing probably a near $40 million
Yeesh.
contract
Yeah.
extension, something around there. So that would mean we'd have to throw in Keldon and Devin or, Zach and Devin or
Sure.
what have you, a bunch of guys that are integral pieces to this core that I just don't think the sum of what we would give. I don't think Lauri would outweigh that in terms of
Hmm.
what he would bring to the team.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, it could happen. I don't see it for the Spurs. You'd almost have to give up Devin in the trade, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want to give up Devin and Zach or Keldon plus the 4 first rounders, 5 first rounders that they're probably going to be asking
Yeah.
for him.
Yeesh.
It doesn't make sense anymore to trade him to
Yeah.
chase him, and maybe I don't know if he's gonna sign this extension. He could, go into free agency next year and see if he can make even more money. And the worst thing
Hmm.
is if you trade him, we get him for a year, and then he's like, you know what, I'm going into free
Yeah.
agency,
I'm
and then we
dipping.
just
Yeah.
gave up all that stuff, and we're left hanging
Yeah.
high and dry without Lowry or whatever we sent for him. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense for the Spurs anymore to chase him. We'd be giving up way too much.
Yeah. And even in that scenario, you're actually hurting the rebuild if you do that.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
bring in
big time.
Laurie for a year and you're hurting it big time, you just pretty much hit the reset button. Even
Yeah,
with Wimby, you're hitting the reset button because the Spurs are making progress, baby steps. Marketing would have been a big step, but that
yeah.
ain't gonna happen. And look, no knock on Lauri Markkanen, great player, but he ain't all he's not upper crust NBA talent. He's a damn good player. But I wouldn't put him up there with Luca or
Oh, not
Giannis
even
or
close. He's a
LeBron.
he's a tier
Yeah.
two guy. He's a tier
He
two guy like Devin. They're on the same level of player. Probably, I mean, you definitely rank Lowry spots ahead of Devin, but they're in that same tier two upper level Robin
mhm,
to your Batman type player.
yeah.
He's about as good a number two as you could probably get in the league
Oh, for
in
sure.
terms of
Yeah.
offensive ability, but yeah, he's definitely not. He's not a superstar. Could he be a superstar next to the likes of Wimby with, no one paying attention to him? Yeah, probably. But just the price point for the trade just does not make sense for the Spurs long term anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
So
much rather try and trace him in straight up free agency
yeah.
than try to trade for him right now.
All right, so then begs the question then now what? What should the Spurs do? Just stand pat and just ride out the season? I mean it sounds like they're gonna go to war with the roster that we already know what it is right now, with all the two-way deals being sent out and
Yeah.
Champagne's, contract picked up and blah blah blah. Um, do you think they should ride this roster for the entire season and get in that mix of the next NBA draft, or maybe still try to trade for a Lauri Markkanen type player? Not saying him, but just basically just that other bona fide all star next to Wemby.
I think the Spurs are feeling pretty confident with the roster that they have, put together for this upcoming season. And I don't think there's you know, I don't think there's any negative feelings about going into the season with what we have. But I definitely think that the Spurs will, remain active in the trade market and, barring some sort of fantastic deal for a player we know that can right away help the team, and with what we give up would still be a plus to the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just stand pat with what we've got, roll through
Yeah.
the season with year 2 Wimby, see what he looks like, see what the additions of, Harrison Barnes and CP3 look like. What does Castle look like fitting in
Yeah.
with the system? And I think we roll with that and we revisit the roster come trade deadline when, you know, the top dogs are looking for pieces to put them over the top, like a Harrison Barnes or a Chris Paul,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a Keldon Johnson. You know, I think we kind of stand strong with what we've got and revisit it towards the trade deadline and see if there's some desperate teams we can fleece for our benefit a little bit down the road. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think we're standing strong with what
Yeah.
we've got, barring some sort of great deal. I'm feeling pretty confident
Mm-hmm.
we stay with the roster.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you there too. Barring again that the Barnes and CP3, the veterans, the Spurs and them agree, kind of like what they did with the LMA. Remember with the LMA, they waived them
Hmm.
to go chase a ring. Same
Yeah.
thing, with other veterans that they've done. The Doug McDermott, most recent one, go Indiana. So I can see that for Barnes and CP3. But I look at the marketing thing, and first of all, my heart feels out for our boy James Ledger. He's probably in shambles right now, just a complete shambles. Flipping
Yeah.
table. He had that Spurs jersey with marking his name on it, ready to fire
Oh,
off.
it
Yeah,
was in his cart already, man. He had
yeah,
he
it
had
was
had
his.
he had customized the jersey already and had it in his cart.
But yeah, the marketing thing, sure, you were gonna mortgage the future. You pretty much were. And then you not only do you hear the reports of him, not gonna, just the whole thing right now, re-signing with him and making him a non-free agent. But then he openly said that he likes Utah, that he wants to
Hmm.
stay in Utah, that his family likes Utah. So that was before the announcement about the extension. That was an indication that likely he was not going to leave Utah. But you never know. Utah could have a bad season. He doesn't want to be part of that. He's in his prime year. Maybe he wants to
Yeah.
go to a team that's on the cusp, like Spurs, or a team that's established, an OKC or Denver or Dallas, whatever. But yeah, yeah, I know there's a lot of Spurs fans that are kind of like, darn, so close. And I think what makes it frustrating with the Spurs, they could have matched the price point, and it would have been like a drop in the bucket for them,
Yeah.
and it would have really hurt them. How frustrating is that, Jack? You're Spurs fans knowing that was a price point then. Now the price point now is sky high. You're thinking to yourself, wow, they could have had him maybe for on the cheap.
I mean, yeah, we could have had him on the cheap for oh maybe if we're lucky, he resigns. But with what he
Mhm.
said, it was seeming like it was probably going to be a 1 year rental. So
Yeah.
while it was a great dream, let's go get this offensive
Mhm.
juggernaut of a 7 footer to pair with our freak of nature with a 7 footer.
Mhm.
How incredible would that be? Yeah, it would have been phenomenal for the Spurs. It would have,
Mhm.
we would have kicked us into overdrive with the rebuild. But
Yeah.
it just seemed like there was too much question marks around what
Mhm.
Lowry
Mhm.
really wanted in the future, whether he would have wanted to stay. Does Lowry want to be the number 2 on a team? I don't know if he
Mhm.
wants to right now with the way he's playing. I don't think he wants to sit in Wimby's shadow with, the skyrocket he's taken in
Mhm.
his career right now. So yeah, it was a great idea. I mean, thrilling to think about, made for great sports media,
Oh
but
yeah.
I felt the whole time that I didn't think it was really going to work out because there were so many question marks around where Lowry wanted to be. I think
Mhm.
he came out and said he wanted to be part of the Jazz organization. He's in his last year. Like I said previously, he's going to command between
Oh
35 and
yeah.
$40 million in free agency. Were the Spurs going to want to pay that? I don't know. There definitely are going to be teams that will pay that and probably overpay for Lauri Markkanen. And I'm not
Mhm.
sure we would have wanted to, you know, mortgage our future on if Lowry was going to try and, stay in San Antonio and possibly take less to play with Wimby. It's just a whole lot of murky water and question marks around this. Sum it back up. I just really feel like it was too much to mortgage on a possible 1-year rental for Lauri Markkanen. And I think in the end, instead of hindering the growth we've made and, the progress of the rebuild, I don't think we thought that bringing Lauri in for potentially more than 1 year, but just 1 year outright outweighed what we had already built. So I think that's where it fell to.
Yeah, when I see that everything just didn't line up for the Spurs to chase him, at least as of now, and I started thinking, okay, well now what? What about I'm gonna throw this name out to you. What about Jeremy Grant? I think that'd be a great consolation prize. The reports are that he's on the trading block, that maybe the Blazers want to move him. I would love for the Spurs to chase Jeremy Grant. I mean, Jeremy Grant is pretty much comparable to a Lauri Markkanen. I mean, not exact, but you're close with Grant, Jack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jeremy Grant. I mean, I hadn't really thought about him, even though I have seen him. He's readily available on the block. Yeah, Jeremy Grant would be a fantastic addition to the Spurs. I mean, big, bouncy four, can shoot the ball, can defend at a high level. Yeah, I think he would fit in, perfectly next to Wemby. And he's a guy that I feel like would be much easier to maintain for a long-term contract and re-sign and all that than a Lauri Markkanen, who's really just hitting his peak. I think we've seen Jeremy Grant probably hit his high point, and he's kind of leveled out, maybe decreasing. I mean, he's been stuck in the garbage can of the Portland Trailblazers for a few seasons. So I really don't even remember how good he is right now because we just haven't seen him on the big stage. But I think that would be an incredible consolation prize and would definitely another big step in the rebuild if we could bring in a Jeremy Grant.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I would not be mad at that. But looks like Markkanen to San Antonio, those dreams are down for now. Maybe not completely out. And when I say that, Jack, is because the Spurs, we know what they have by way of assets.
I mean,
they can still make something happen. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think, like you said, with the assets we have, anyone outside of the best players in the league, if the Spurs wanted to, they could go and get them. I mean, we could throw 6 first-round picks and still have 11 in the bank, and we could go get whoever we wanted. But it's all about it's all about fit and mortgaging the future and all that. There's a lot more that goes into it now because we've got to build a team around Wemby with guys that want to play Wemby, that know they're not going to be the guy. And, there's not a lot of guys in the NBA that are willing to say that they're not the guy. So it's going to take the right breed of player to come into San Antonio and be willing to take that second or third fiddle next to Wemby and Devin. So, I think we're still going to be aggressive, but it's about finding the right guys. And I do think Jeremy Grant could be one of those right guys.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. All right. Those are our thoughts on Lauri Markkanen dreams that might be closed for now, everybody. You let Jack know on X at Jack_Thompson33. By the way, Pledger's Twitter is at IamPledger. Just ask him if he's doing all right. Just ask him if he's doing okay.
We need a wellness check on Pledge.
Yeah, we need a wellness check on Pledge right now. But anyway, those are our thoughts on Lauri Markkanen. Coming up next, we got your comments. Locked On Spurs fans, you're leaving a bunch of notes and comments and thoughts and reactions. We're going to get 2 of them. That's next right here on Locked On Spurs. This show episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You want to go to BetterHelp right now if you're thinking about starting online therapy. Look, online therapy is for everyone, whether you're having ups or downs in life. BetterHelp will help you get through those moments in time. So you want to go to BetterHelp right now. Why? When your schedule is packed with kids' activities, big work projects, and more, it's easy to let your priorities slip. Even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for it. But when you feel like you have no time for yourself, non-negotiables like therapy are more important than ever. Look, if you benefit from therapy before, look, this is good for you. You know what it's like, but BetterHelp ups it. They are there for you. They're suited to your schedule. You can switch therapists at any time, no cost to you. They got it all. So again, if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Oh, by the way, it's entirely online, designed to be convenient. And as I mentioned, suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and you're ready to go. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get yourself 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. I also want to talk about Game Time. You're going to go to gametime.co right now. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. Killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Look, they got flash deals, zone deals. You get those views from your seat. You can see it all, panoramic views. The lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection. Game Time is the app you need. Right now, about those last minute deals, just heads up, you can save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, what have you in your area. All in pricing. They got a toggle feature that shows you the total up front, so there's no surprise fees when you check out. Lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And those seat views, you get a panoramic view of your seat in the app before you buy. Download the Game Time app. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. So go create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code LOCKEDONNBA. That'll get you $20 off. Download Game Time today. Lowest price guaranteed. Last minute tickets. They got it all. Go get that app right now.
Hey, this is Hot Rod.
And I'm RC from San Antonio Spurs.
And you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
And we're back on Locked On Spurs. He is Jack Thompson. Follow him on X at Jack_Thompson. He must be making big bucks because he can just take a Supreme shirt and just tie-dye it. Must be nice, Jack. Yep. Must be real nice. Look at that. They just slap that Supreme sticker or logo on anything now, don't they?
Seriously. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not even a big Supreme guy. This might be the only thing Supreme that I have in my closet. I got it because the shirt was cool. It looked like it was spray painted. But then me and all my friends decided to tie-dye some stuff, and I was like, you know what? I think this would look pretty cool tie-dyed.
All right. You know, you can start a business there. Just tie-dye stuff.
Yeah.
Just make tie-dye. You know what I thought it was when you lifted it up? I thought it was Mr. J, Joker. That's what I thought it was.
It is kind of like a clown face.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah. Yeah, it has a big grin. Yeah. But by the way, did you see the new Batman Cape Crusaders episodes yet?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I have not.
You're in for a ride. Let's put it that way. You're in for a ride.
Nice.
All right, everybody. It's time to talk about you guys, Locked On Spurs fans, and your comments you're leaving at the YouTube page. Make sure to subscribe at Locked On Spurs on YouTube. And we got some reaction to Monday's episode. We had a roundtable. For those who did not know or did not watch, first of all, go back and watch it. But it's me, Jack Thompson, and Rudy Campos. We all got together for first ever Locked On Spurs roundtable, discussing the rookies, the rookie class, Castle, Reed Shepherd, et cetera, et cetera. So we had some reaction to that, Jack. Nice. We're going to pick two. So here's the first one. The first, I'm going to try with their name. So excuse me, Locked On Spurs fan, if I get it wrong. But hey, I'm going to try my best. The first one is from Yop 030. I hope I did that right. He says, there are risks that Reed Shepherd could not get enough playtime, that he would need to bring in very good stats. I guess he's assuming when he does play. The Rockets team will try to get one of the last playoff spots and needs to win. We all know that. Oh my goodness. So it's a long comment here, Yop. So I'm just going to cut it off short. We all know blah, 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 blah. Okay. The efficiency is better for older rookies. So I guess he's just saying that he's not, in a nutshell, Yop, what I'm hearing is that you're not sold on Reed Shepherd being the best rookie in the class because of playtime and perhaps efficiency. What do you think about that, Jack? I don't see a scenario where the Rockets shelve or limit Reed. I think they let him go.
Yeah, I don't think they shelve or limit. I mean, they do still have Fred VanVleet, so they do have a veteran guard to lean on. He'll probably play a lot of minutes too. He's seen better days, though. I mean, we can be quite honest about that. And, you know, they drafted Reed Shepherd that high for a reason. I mean, you're not drafting a guy in the top 5 to let him ride the bench. That's just not how it works. Now, I do agree with the efficiency. I think, you know, into the NBA is going to be a big step for him when he's got, you know, Lou Dort, you know, guys of that nature guarding him. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for Reed. But we only said that he could win Rookie of the Year because we think he's going to get the most burn. I do not think he's the best rookie by any standards. He's certainly a very good basketball player, and I think he's going to translate to the NBA with his extreme shooting ability. But he's also, like he said, he did doubted his efficiency. Reed's an efficient player. I mean, he doesn't take bad shots. He's a very cerebral guard on the court. He makes sure he's got, tapped into everything that's going on around him. And he doesn't take a lot of bad shots. So I do see him being an efficient rookie. I'm just worried about his size and, lateral quickness, trying to get around these bigger defensive players. Like, you put Herb Jones or Lou Dort or, Devin Vassell on Reed, these big, strong, long, athletic guards.
Throw Sohan on him. Yeah.
Like, I just worry about how he's going to be able to contribute around these massive defenders that could be put in front of him. That's what scared me away from him in the draft. But I do not think he's the best rookie. I think he could win Rookie of the Year because of the burn he gets, and he'll have the most, playing time to show that he's worthy of the Rookie of the Year award. But I do not think he's the best rookie in the class. No.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep on that topic. And speaking of best rookies, we have another comment from Michael Robinson, II65. He says, best rookie season, not even considering playing time. So in his opinion, if you don't factor in playing time, will probably be Rob. And he's probably referring to Rob Dillingham in Minnesota. You think Rob is kind of getting under the radar right now? All the shine, obviously, to Sarr and Ricochet, they're, the top picks. And then you have, Reed Shepherd. But Rob Dillingham, he kind of had a pretty decent, I don't know, decent, but he showed something in the Summer League. What do you think about Rob Dillingham in Minnesota?
I mean, you're going to take the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands so Rob can shoot? No, I mean,
you're not.
And Cat too, like, at very best on the team, he's the third person taking the shot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, he's going to have a whole lot less eyes on him on Minnesota. Like, obviously, they're going to be guarding Cat and Ant. But how much shots is he going to get up is my question. And he's not a facilitating guard. He's not a true point guard that's going to run the show. He's a scoring guard, and he's not a spot-up shooter. He's an off-the-dribble shooter. So he needs the ball in his hands, and the ball's going to be in Cat and Ant's hands 90% of the time. So I just think when you add in all those variables, while Rob could have a good rookie season for sure, like I said, he's going to be the least, of the top picked players in this draft. He probably went to the best situation. Like, no one's going to be paying attention to him on the court. So if he can show out in that way, I guess he can win Rookie of the Year. But I mean, at most, he's not playing starting point guard because that's just not what he is. And he's definitely not starting shooting guard because Anthony Edwards has that on lock forever while he's on the team. So I don't know. I mean, Rob's a huge question mark. He could show out in his limited minutes and his limited role. But typically you don't win Rookie of the Year in a limited role.
No,
you win Rookie of the Year as a bona fide starter. You're playing majority of the game. I mean, we saw Jaime Jaquez third in Rookie of the Year voting this past year.
Yep.
Not a touted rookie coming out. A 4-year guy, went to the right fit, started as a rookie with injuries, and really showed out. So I think the only way that Rob could do that is if, we get Mike Conley and Nickeil Alexander-Walker injuries, and he gets a whole lot more playing time. I think that's the only scenario I see Rob coming close to Rookie of the Year.
It's kind of odd. We're talking about the rookies, the rookie class, and the Rookie of the Year, best rookies, blah blah blah. But you're seeing polls. We talked about this in the last show, where your names like Castle, Klingon, Edie, those names are getting more love than Sarr and Ricochet. Why is that, Jack?
Well, because Sarr is going to the Wizards, who will probably win at the most 10 games this year.
Yeesh.
So that ain't going to be Sarr. I mean, unless he's averaging 20 and 10.
Well, not even just Rookie of the Year race, just best rookies.
Yeah.
Even like I said, like Klingon and Castle and Edie and Shepherd, they're getting more shine than the top two picks.
I think that's because, I mean, Edie and Castle are going to teams where they do not have to step in and be the best player. I mean, they just have to step in and shine in their role. All Zach Edey has to do is set hard screens and roll to the basket. That's literally all he has to do. Grab defensive rebounds, set hard screens, roll to the basket, look for jaw. That's all Zach Edey has to do on the court. Stephen Castle, play defense, and then run pick and roll with Wemby and find Wemby or attack the basket. That's all he has to do to show out as a rookie and, thrive as a rookie. You look at Ricochet, well, for him, I don't know when he's going to get the ball. I mean, you got Trae Young.
Yeah.
You got Jalen Johnson. You've got Bogdanovich. You've got a bunch of guys that are playing the same position. You got Sadiq Bey. You got all these guys over at Atlanta that play the same position at Ricochet. So he's going to have to really, really show out to get, a lot of burn because he's playing. I mean, there's a lot of good NBA wings on that team. DeAndre Hunter, too. Like all these guys that are playing the same position as Ricochet that he's got to show out against. I just don't see him doing that in his rookie year. And then when you go to SAR, I mean, Washington's a dumpster fire. Them in Detroit, like.
You know what? When I think of SAR, why do I think of I feel like he might be a bust. I don't know what. Just something.
For me, I think he could die in Washington. He could die as a player in Washington because they've got no one. They've got no one. He's gonna have to go out and it's him and Kuzma and I guess Poole. Like Poole's pretty solid. Kuzma's the best player on the team.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, SAR. You've seen what has happened to Cade Cunningham. I mean, drafted number one, bona fide superstar coming out. Where is he now? I mean, if you're on a bad team that can't win, Pistons. You get left in the dust and forgot about. And that is what I'm really fearing is going to happen to SAR because Washington has nothing going for them in the way of winning more games. I mean, they're going to be a bottom team in the league. And next year, Washington's going to get another top pick. Could be Cooper Flag that, who's SAR? Once you get Cooper Flag, who is Alexander SAR? Because I don't know. Because Cooper Flag's coming in and taking over the team. So he's just not in a good spot. I mean, it's sad to say he got a lot of talent, a lot of hype coming in. He had showings in Summer League, but then he also had some really, really poor
bad
showings.
Games. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's on his way to being tossed to the wayside on the Washington Wizards because it's just what the league is. I mean, it's just how it happens.
Yeah.
Sad to say.
You think that Washington was better off drafting Klingon or they really wanted a big, hell, I would put
probably.
Edie, you're fine.
Probably. If it were me, I would have started with a guard. I mean, they're rebuilding everything. Don't start with a big that, who doesn't have a guard to feed him. Yeah. I mean, they had Tyus Jones, but he's gone now. I don't even know who their starting point guard is in Washington. I have no idea who their starting point guard is. So I would have definitely gone guard. I mean, Jordan Poole ain't it. So you could get a 2 and start him over Jordan Poole. So I think I would have definitely rebuilt the franchise with that, that franchise guard rather than the what if unicorn guy who could easily be a bust in the league. I just don't think they went about it in the right way.
Well, hopefully Locked On Wizards are not, when we can put a wellness check on Locked On Wizards right now. Who knows? We'll check out Locked On Wizards. But thank y'all for for leaving the comments here on Locked On Spurs. We'll keep on doing that as the offseason continues. As y'all are well aware, we are down to about 3 a week until training camp comes around. So, we'll keep it coming here on Locked On Spurs, and you guys are doing a great job at giving us some topics to discuss, as you did just right now. He is Jack Thompson. Follow him on X at Jack_Thompson33, giving us the 3 goggles as he always does. Put him in focus. By the way, Patty Mills, man. Speaking of 3 goggles.
Fifth all time, man. Fifth all time in Olympic scoring. past Manu. 36 points behind Scola. He could get it. If the Aussies continue to make a run, he could get into 4th.
Yep. But well, as the time of this recording, it looks like the Aussies are done. So, yeah. But hey,
that we're in knockout round now. That's right.
You're in knockout round now. But nevertheless, something about Patty in that green jersey he puts on, man. Dude, jeez.
You say like Patty in the FIBA. Have you watched any of Germany?
Oh, like Schroeder? And the Wagner.
Who is this Dennis Schroeder guy I'm seeing in FIBA?
Yeah, I know. God. It's like
we know
FIBA
Wagner
Schroeder.
Is good, but FIBA Schroeder is a menace on the court. He's so confident.
He's a menace. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun. I love that the guys turn into something different when they put on that FIBA uniform. It's really cool to see.
Did you hear that debate they recently had regarding brothers? Which international brother set would you take? The Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol brothers, or the Wagner brothers?
Bro, that's not even close. Prime Pau and Mark are making mincemeat of these German boys. That's not even close. Pau's an all-time great, and Mark ain't far behind him. Those guys got Mo Wagner guarding Marc Gasol.
It's over. It's a wrap.
20
it's a wrap.
10, easy.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yes, that's a wrap.
You think Franz though? I think Franz could maybe give him a little.
Franz is nice. I mean, Franz is nice. I
think Franz could do it. Yeah.
Franz is a big guard, and he could hold his own because I think Pau and Mark would have trouble guarding him, but he couldn't guard Pau on the block. Pau's killing him. No, it's not even close. It's literally not even close. They haven't even done anything yet. Go get you a medal first, and then maybe we can start comparing you to the Gasol brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's a little pump the brakes on that comparison.
Yeah, we'll see. Give it next Olympics, and we'll see what these Wagner brothers are looking like, and then maybe we can go to the comparison.
All right. Again, he is Jack Thompson. Follow him on X at Jack_Thompson33. Do it right now. As always, we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen every single day. For your second listen, check out, Locked On Wizards. We were talking about the Wizards a lot right now.
They need something.
They need to go check out Locked On Wizards. Subscribe to not only Locked On Spurs and Wizards, the rest of the Locked On Podcast Network, and subscribe to Locked On Sports Today, 24/7 streaming sports channel only on YouTube. Go subscribe to it right now. We'll be back Friday. I think we got Mike Jimenez and the Hook. Maybe.
Dude, I want to do a round table with Mike.
You know what? Let me see if I can make that happen. Because I think it could happen. We'll talk about this after once we're done. But again, subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, what else? Ken's 5 Plus app, YouTube. Yeah, pick a platform. We are there. So for Jack 3 Goggles Thompson, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock in this episode of Locked On Spurs.